要利用这个记者会宣读一份联合声明。这份声明主要在谈英国伦敦大学跟英国伦敦政经学院包庇蔡英文的博士诈欺。这份声明是由贺老师、彭文正教授还有我们3个人联合署名准备送到英国伦敦大学校长的办公室，然后我们也会做其他的运作。这份声明相当长，但是因为论文门是一个严重的一个大丑闻，知识体大，所以我会把这份声明照稿一字不漏的把它宣读。This is a joint statement titled British University Side with President Tsai on Doctorate Scamming. We are reporting on an international doctorate scamming scandal involving Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen, the University of London, and the London School of Economics. President Tsai has committed academic fraud almost for 4 decades, but the University of London and LSE have no intention of telling the truth to the world. We made this statement for academic integrity, the rule of law, and moral justice. President Tsai had long boasted that she spent no more than 2 years in London and earned a remarkable 1.5 PhD degree in 1984 from the London School of Economics, where the 1.5 PhD degree means a PhD degree in law and a half PhD degree in international trade. She breaks this self-aggrandized achievement in her sole author books and public talks. According to her student record, she entered the LSE's MPhil PhD program in October 1980, but withdrew by citing financial difficulties in November 1982, leading to a course length of only 21 months. In August 2019, it was found for the first time that President Tsai was in fact not awarded an LSE doctorate in 1984, thanks to the 50-page report authored by Dr. Huang Lin, that's me. Dr. Huang Lin holds a PhD degree in economics from the University of Illinois and is an associate professor with the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. This report, initially in Mandarin Chinese, was extended into an English version in October 2019, which is downloadable somewhere in the internet. Another 2 college professor has also actively participated in investigating President Tsai's academic fraud scandal. Like Professor Lin, they are from Taiwan. Professor Defen Ho, He Defen, who holds a master's degree in laws from the University of Washington, and Professor Peng, who holds a doctorate in journalism from the University of Wisconsin. To intimidate these 3 scholars into silence, President Tsai sued them criminally for defamation in September 2019, while selling her early college professor personnel files for more than 30 years by classifying them as top secret information. Her political influence had largely muted the mainstream media as regards her long-term fraudulent crime. However, with the 3 scholars' persistent efforts, so much evidence has been documented to unfold the entirety of President Tsai's doctorate scamming starting from 1983, 1984. In fact, follows, I'm going to describe an array of fraudulent evidence that she holds a fake doctorate. First, there's no record that President Tsai ever deposited her officially exempt doctoral thesis with the University of London's libraries, at the Center House and Institute of Advanced Legal Studies. In her case, an officially exempt PhD thesis has never existed anywhere within the University of London, either in physical form or in non-physical form. Second, President Tsai has never been able to show an original PhD certificate issued by the University of London in 1984. In September 2019, her presidential office displayed a carbon copy of a so-called original PhD certificate indicating March 14, 1984 as the degree awarding day. According to the office, the carbon copy was obtained from the University of London. However, this was apparently a lie because Dr. Kicker, former head of data protection and information compliance, informed Dr. Wang Lin by email that the university did not hold copies of any PhD certificate that the university had ever issued. Third, President Tsai has been found to counterfeit PhD certificates. The presidential office claimed that the President Tsai obtained from the University of London a replacement PhD certificate in 2010 and another replacement in 2015, respectively. However, it has been verified that they both can never be authentic as compared to the authentic PhD certificate of 1984. For any replacement certificate to be authentic, its contents, including signature and format, must be identical to the original PhD certificate. As has been clarified by the university head of diploma production and head of data protection information compliance, Susie Merriweather. Fourth, it is absurd that President Tsai did not even know her thesis title. She had indicated different thesis titles at different times. According to her student record, the PhD thesis title is indicated as Unfair Trade Practices and Safeguard Actions. However, when she applied for the position of associate professor with Taiwan's National Chengde University in fall 1984, her vita indicated a totally different PhD thesis title, which reads Law of Subsidy, Dumping, and Market Safeguard. How could she forget her thesis title just about 6 months after she was awarded a PhD degree on March 14, 1984? The only possibility was that she did not complete a PhD thesis titled Unfair Trade Practices and Safeguard Actions at that time. Finally, recent messages from the UK's Information Commissioner's Office and the university's information officer also came to debunk President Tsai's self-claimed doctoral degree. The Council of the London School of Economics denied holding information about President Tsai's PhD oral examination, according to a decision notice of November 2021 from the UK's Information Commissioner's Office. Meanwhile, Susie Millwether, as head of data protection, responded to a Freedom of Information request in January 2022 by saying that the University of London does not hold any information relating to information held by the LSE about Yuanta. That is, neither the LSE nor the University of London has any record of percentile PhD examination and the associated report. With no official record of passing a PhD oral examination, how can percentile be awarded a doctorate on March 14, 1984? It is evident that percentile has committed fraudulent crime. She has no record of passing a PhD examination and no record of depositing final copies of an officially examined thesis with the University of London libraries. Accordingly, she faked 3 PhD certificates to pretend that she has held a doctorate for almost 4 decades. Yet, it is tremendously sad that the 2 British universities, the University of London and LSE, chose to cover up the entire scandal concerning percentile doctorate scamming. More than 2 years ago, the LSE posted an unsigned statement at its website on October 8, 2019, to endorse percentile fraudulent claim. And more recently, the University of London also posted an unsigned statement for the same purpose. By no means can these 2 unsigned statements be justifiable, either ethically or legally. It is a disgrace to the 2 British universities that issued them. We must point out that the 2 statements actually contradict each other. For instance, the LSE statement claims in part that the Central House Library records confirm that a copy was received and sent by them to the Institute of Advanced Legal Studies. But this dishonest claim just got debunked by the latest statement issued by the University of London. Now, this statement says that it remains unclear whether copies were deposited with the university library. However, the University of London statement is still far short of the truth that percentile never deposited copies of an officially examined PhD thesis with the university's libraries. While she was already in Taiwan and had taught as a part-time lecturer at Suzhou University, Dongwu Daxue, a private university in Taipei since September the 1st, 1983. Even worse yet, the University of London statement is apparently a broken fig leaf, 一块遮羞布, that was failed to cover up percentile's doctorate scamming based on our documented evidence. First, the statement said that percentile was awarded a PhD in February 1984, following the submission and examination of her thesis by 2 examiners. This severely runs counter to the degree awarding date of March 14, 1984, which appears on each of the 3 PhD certificates we have mentioned earlier. Did the University of London actually mean 2 PhD awarded to President Tsai in 1984? It must be a lie, right? Second, the statement claimed that while it remains unclear whether copies were deposited with the university library, that has no bearing on Dr. Tsai's PhD, which was correctly awarded. Once again, this claim severely dents the university's integrity and reputation, for it is a sheer violation of the University of London regulation. In what follows, let me cite a part of the regulation, which reads, a candidate will be required to submit 3 copies of his thesis, either typewritten or printed, of which 2 copies must be bound in accordance with instruction from the academic registrar. 3 copies. The 3rd copy must be at least adequately bound. So where are the 3 copies of President Tsai PhD thesis on Earth? According to an ICO response issued on April 1st, 2021, the University of London explained that the original copy was lost or misshelved sometime between mid-1980s and 2010s, over which period there were numerous structural changes to the library. But why is the loss misshelved? Why is the loss or misshelved excuse now replaced with it remains unclear based on the University of London statement? Isn't it a shame that the University of London and LSE lack the moral courage to unfold the scandal? Finally, in conclusion, the scandal has extended from 1983 to the present. As we have described above, so much evidence has emerged and pointed to a 4-decade-long fraud that President Tsai has committed. We can imagine why the University of London and LSE scrambled to cover up the international scandal involving a foreign politician with supreme power. Today, we 3 Taiwanese professors are here. We 3 Taiwanese professors are here to urge the University of London and LSE to tell the truth to the world with a deep apology. Otherwise, the current scandal will rise to a level that can easily dwarf the Gaddafi scandal of 2011. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much.
喜欢我们的影片，请在下方点下订阅按钮，也别忘了开启旁边的小铃铛。谢谢大家。